And so as you think about the future, one is like there was probably, it was not easy to bring Tonal 2 to the market. And so how do you tackle challenges and how do you see that going forward in order to fulfill the vision of the company in the next 5, 10 years?
We're actually going through the long range planning exercises now. It's really about stacking growth curves for us as a business. There's no secret that connected fitness as a space uh, benefited and then was also tremendously impacted by COVID.
Mm.
When everything got locked down, um, people bought Pelotons and Tonals and everything else, two at a time. Like I'll put one, I'll stack them on top of each other. And these companies grew super fast, both in terms of their member base, but also in terms of, the company footprint itself. And when, COVID lockdowns ended and people kind of started federating back into the meat space, or IRL as my kids would say. It created challenges for these companies, not because the products weren't useful anymore, but because they overextended themselves in terms of the amount of inventory they bought, in terms of the expectations on marketing and customer acquisition costs, and a
Mhm.
whole host of things that would take 7 podcasts to get through. Uh, all of that being said, Tonal, I can't speak for Peloton, but Tonal is in a very kind of secure space right now. We were smaller than Peloton, still smaller than Peloton, but didn't extend ourselves as far and have been able to course correct. And with Tonal 2, we're now charting a path forward. As we think about the future, like for me, importantly, like it's it's really built on kind of a set of sequenced events.
Mhm.
Like one, we need to ensure that we constantly maintain a lead on our hardware. We're always going to be in part, a hardware company, and uh, that means we've got to be thinking 2, 3 year cycles always. And the next cycle has to basically present an opportunity to meet the market again with a product that's 10x better than everything else that's out there. And so it takes a lot of kind of effort to get to that point. And we're thinking through that now. The market won't see that value for years, but we've got to start thinking about it, yesterday. Um, Two, how do you build on the current user base itself, the current member base, to generate more engagement from them to maintain uh, um, um, a high NPS and a high kind of propensity not to churn, to maintain on the product. And so
Right.
that means, like, what are the quality of life improvements? What are the improvements that we can do through software and potentially adjacent content and accessory
Right.
value to deliver for them? And then there are, similar to what I was just talking about with healthcare, opportunities to grow the TAM.
Mhm.
And that's where the bets become hard, because we kind of fit now into a world, if we go back to the conversation, of B2B, where making
Yeah.
investments here take a tremendous amount of conviction, because if you build it and it's the wrong thing, it doesn't mean that you're going to generate a business value proposition. And so we have to be, uh, on the one hand, attenuated from a consumer perspective and building consumer product for our member base with an expectation that we're not going to get everything right, but that's okay because we're going to push stuff out continuously and fast. But on the other hand, we've got to be extremely convicted when we're now trying to approach kind of what the B2B modalities of the business are, uh, and try to land 1 or 2 bets every year that help us kind of graduate beyond where we are as a business now and stack growth curves.
Mhm. Yeah, when you started talking about healthcare and things like that, there is again a lot of opportunity, but with something that can like tech evolves so rapidly. But for example,
Mhm.
if there is a business and it is probably not going to replace something as huge. It's not like a watch or a phone that you might replace
No,
every year or other
no.
year. So really trying to get that right, and you almost like walking this fine line and balancing that in terms of innovation at scale versus providing the value, which
Hmm.
I'm sure is not easy as you do your long range planning.
Yeah, luckily I've got like an amazing team, and there's no shortage of convicted individuals here, and so like my job is in large part to help synthesize a lot of it, but I'm feeling pretty lucky, and I think we have a huge opportunity here as a business.